Eden Radio 1368, and it is Miller time on this beautiful but cold. What day is this? Oh, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Jesus, like my friend Gavin Singh, never remembering what day it is. Anyway, we have on the phone right now a very special treat for you because I have my friend and yours, friend of the show, Lyla. Let me just see if our mic's on. I hear birds.
Good morning from New York.
Hashtag we are live. Oh yeah.
Hello. Oh my goodness, Dustin, it's 5 a.m. I have to care about you a lot to be awake right now.
Yeah, I know you love me, but I really appreciate it. But it's not only that you're up now; it's that you actually didn't sleep.
No, I've been so blessed to have back-to-back interviews with the upcoming performance that I have, and I'm not complaining, you know.
No, for sure, man. I'm telling you what. So let me just ask you first of all. We're going to talk about a few things here because, well, we don't get a chance to talk much anyway, so because you're always so busy.
Right.
What are you doing in New York besides getting ready to sing an anthem?
Oh my goodness.
Talk about next.
You know what? To be honest, I've really put everything on hold at the moment until this weekend's gig. I've known for about 6 weeks that this gig is coming up where I'll be singing the anthem at the rugby. So I've really put everything else on hold, and then other than doing the New York Minute on your show every week, I also
Which we love, by the way.
So good to hear. I'm so happy that we've already done like 10 episodes and it's being well received.
Can you believe it? I mean, you came up with that idea in January and you said it to me and I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
The next thing I know...
We were joking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like, imagine...
Yeah,
it was so funny. It was like, imagine if one day we worked together on radio. Ha. And now look at us.
Of course, you were a radio producer for 3 years at Hot 91.9 and you produced the breakfast show there. And then you've done some other radio stuff too. So I mean, that wasn't your first gig in radio.
Yeah, I started at UJFM, University of Johannesburg, where I started as a producer over there, and then things just it was baby steps, and then before I knew it, they held me hostage at Hot 919 for a couple of years, but I managed to escape.
And I think didn't you work with Darren and the team at Balls before you went to?
I did for a little bit. And you know, it's so funny because when I started as an intern for Darren and the team, this was like my first like real big gig. And I mean, they're rugby people, so they had people like Joost van der Westhuizen and Naas Botha in and out of those studios. And it was my first time being like in a room with people that are like household names. And it must have been the first week that I was an intern, and Naas Botha walked out of the studio and over to my desk, and he took a mint out of my I had like those XXX mints on my desk, and I couldn't even get a hello out. I was so shell-shocked.
Did you say have a Naas day?
What is that thing he always says? But on the other hand, Darren. Oh my goodness, no, it's so funny. I actually through working with Darren and the team, I've actually met a couple of ex-Springboks, and it's just incredible to flash forward like 2-3 years, and to be involved in a different way. And I think that, as much as I have such a big love for radio, I think that I have my passion is just as strong for music. So it's so amazing being given this opportunity to be involved, but just in a completely different way.
And I want to transition to music next and talk about that for a minute with you. But before I do that, I just want to mention one more thing on the radio. We have a friend in common. We have quite a few friends in common. But one of our friends in common is named Tony. Well, we call him Tony Baloney, but he's Tony Isaacs. He's the early guy. He gets up at 5 a.m. And I got to tell you, back about a year ago, I went and chilled with him in his studio for the, what is his show called? I don't even remember.
The Get Up and Go show.
The Get Up and Go show. And I told him there's going to be a lot of coffee that is needed to get me to get up and go before 5 a.m. to be in his studio. But one of the things he said, and I've told you this privately in our conversations, but I'm going to say it live on air right now. One of the things he said was, there's a lot of good producers in radio, but it took two people to reply. This is no lie. I'm not just making this up, but Tony said it took two people to fill the shoes of Lyla Illing. She left because it took two people to do what you do or what you did rather on a daily basis. And that to me spoke something about not only your character but your work ethic, and not only your skill but even your drive and determination and your just pure passion for radio and what you do.
I'm a little bit of a workaholic and a little bit of an overachiever, and I have to say that the same is true in my relationships. When a guy breaks up with me, he needs to replace me with 2 girls.
Oh no. Calvin's listening right now.
How do you come back from that? Hi to all my ex-boyfriends.
Lyla's available, Calvin, if you want to get in there.
Oh, shame. Oh boy, yeah, no, there's been no time for boyfriends with the gig coming up.
Calvin have been tight for years, right? I mean, you've known this.
Oh my gosh, I adore Calvin. I met him as a little intern. He reminds me so much about myself, and we keep in touch till today. And I know that he had his big start on Eden as well. But yeah, he was.
And he's still with us. He's every other Saturday he does a show from 3 to 5. So he's with Mel, and we love him. And I can't have a conversation with you live on air without bringing him.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to see where he's. There's big things in store for him. I cannot wait to see what he ends up doing.
Absolutely. So we have to talk about something else, but before I get to that, because I mean that's the main point of this conversation, I just want to speak to you quick because we brought up music, and I don't want to go past that because you are a muso of note, and people from Joburg know you from places like the Rusty Hook and some other venues.
Rumors.
Joshua Tree.
Yes.
There's a very famous picture of you with that very famous picture of Jim Morrison behind you on stage at Joshua Tree. And you've written some original songs and you've performed them here before you left, but you've written more since you've gone to New York. And tell me about what you're working on right now in the way of music, if you're working on anything, and then also tell me about what you've done. I mean, we've played some of your stuff here, but what have you been doing?
So I think that firstly, being in New York, it's impossible not to dream. And what I mean by that is like, it's impossible not to write. There's just something to write about all the time. And I think that when I was in Johannesburg, I was focusing on my radio career, and then music was more part-time. And since I've made the move to New York, I've had my own space and space to find, Lyla's voice and what Lyla really wants to say. And I think that I've also ended up writing a lot about Africa, because I think it's always, that thing where you don't know what you got till it's gone. So I often think as Africa as this warm place, and I feel a lot of love when I think back, and but then again I don't know, it's almost like loving 2 people at the same time. I'm in love with New York so much, and it's just I feel like
New York has been good to you, by the way.
Yeah, I've played a few shows, and I think, as much as I don't want to say that I'm in the right place at the right time for the anthem, I think that I've been working towards a lot of things, and, I'm happy that, it's all in my favor. But New York has just been a different experience as an artist. It's been I've had to get super real with myself, and I think I've written some of my best music here. I've so far funded my own recordings in New York studios. I actually recorded some of my music at a studio where Britney and Christina, Rihanna and Shakira all recorded their demos. So that's my claim to fame.
Telling me about that. I told Yvette and I about it, and I was like, oh my God,
But yeah, you know what, Dustin, I think that I've never been signed to a major label or had an agent, and I think that, I think I know who I am now, and I think I'm ready to go and knock on some doors. I think that I've just released my album on iTunes and Spotify and Deezer, which is getting positive feedback, and I'm hoping to take that to some record labels here in New York and see what I can do. What the next step is.
14 minutes after the hour here now in the Miller Time program, we're chatting to our very own Lyla Healing, who is here to make a very exciting announcement. And without further ado now, we're going to get into that. So you keep mentioning the word anthem, and I think that's kind of why we're chatting today. Of course, I could chat to you for an hour, though tons of airtime, but let's get to the point, because I want to make sure that we get that out there. You are doing something very exciting this coming Saturday, and there's been all sorts of things happening on Facebook, on other forms of social media, promoting this. But why don't you tell me about what's happening this Saturday, and tell me about how you feel about it.
Whew, Dustin, I you know
Was
what?
that too much?
You know what? I think there's a lot of mixed emotions, but yeah. So this Saturday, 11 p.m. South African time, you can switch on your television to SuperSport Channel 1, and there you'll see Lyla. And I will be singing our South African national anthem for our Springboks, and it's I'm laughing about it now, but it's such an honor. And when I got the news, I just cried. And the first thing that I did was I watched the movie Invictus again. I didn't even phone anyone. I didn't even phone my family yet. I just closed my bedroom door, and I was just like, oh my goodness, so exciting. Something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time.
And for people who don't know, because obviously we are predominantly a South African audience, RFK Stadium is not some small venue either. It is a large stadium that is home to the National Football League, the American football team, Washington Redskins. It's huge. I don't know the number of how many people it seats. Maybe
46.
This is a huge
46,000.
46,000. So that's kind of a huge venue. In fact, I think if we had to find a place here in South Africa that it was comparable to, I don't even know where to begin. But that's a huge venue. So I mean, no pressure or anything. But you're going to be in front of a lot of people. But you've done it before. I think is this your biggest audience ever? I
mean, I think when I left Johannesburg, my farewell gig at Joshua Tree, I don't think there was like much more, a lot more people than 100 or 120. And now I'm jumping to a stadium. So yeah, when I'm saying there's mixed emotions, I feel that it's like 90%. Like I feel extremely happy about this, and I feel I know that where this is coming from. I know what this means to me, and it's not just it's not about a concert to me. This means so much. I grew up watching rugby, and that was the one thing in my household that we as a family could sit around and watch together, and not, I didn't grow up like with the best sort of situations, but that was the one place I felt like, oh cool, I can hang out with my dad, I can have a chat with my dad, if I keep up with the game, I'll have something to talk to him about, Sure. And so it means a lot to me. I grew up with these guys, like I grew up with the Springboks, and it's insane. It's just insane, yeah. Mixed emotions, but like I said, 90% happy, and the other 10% I think is the necessary nerves. And yeah.
Have you got a second to hang on while we play a song and then come back? I want to ask you something else.
Yeah, let's do that.
Eden Radio 1368, and that was Sing Me an Old-Fashioned Song there by Billy Joe Spears. And what happened? Okay, I gotta press the right button. So I'm chatting to Lyla Illing here on Eden Radio. It's Miller time, and we are at 21 minutes past the hour now. And Lyla is actually telling me off air that she is standing with her back to the World Trade Center.
That's it. Yeah, New York is just waking up. There's a few runners running along there. How good does that feel, right? Yeah, running along there.
Yeah. That way I can post it along with the podcast of this later. But hey, we were talking about you singing the national anthem at RFK Stadium this coming Saturday in Washington, D.C. in the USA. And you have an awesome opportunity to sing the SA national anthem in front of 44,000 people in front of the Wales and SA rugby teams. I mean, tell me, what was the first thing? I mean, you obviously wanted to do this, and you contacted someone and said, hey, I'm here, I'm South African, I'm available. But tell me what it felt like when you got the news saying, hey, Lyla Illing, you're doing this.
I think that, sometimes you ask for something or you hope for something, but you never really think that, oh, this is going to happen. And I think that it was one of those moments. But I have to tell you that everything about it just felt right. Like, it's silly, but I had that video go viral later last year when I was singing the anthem under the Brooklyn Bridge with South African expats. So it all just like snowballed, and I just think that, some things are just meant to be. And I mean, when people ask me if I'm nervous, I think you know that I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so this is cool for me. I'm really excited.
Maybe we should talk about when Yvette came to visit me in Florida before I had come here, and you came down to my house. Speaking of adrenaline junkie, you did something that almost made me. I almost fell over. I couldn't believe you actually did it. When you were talking about it, I thought you were just pulling my chain. I did not realize.
Yes. So we were in. It was Kissimmee, right?
Kissimmee, yeah, and it's more specifically for people who know Disney, it's Old Town.
That's it. We were like driving around looking for something to do, and there was that massive like skyscraper thing, and I was like, wait, I've got to go there.
We don't make any plans, by the way.
Yeah,
we just kind of do
rock
things.
up. and I was like, well, guys, I want to go on that, whatever that is. I don't know if it was a bungee jump or whatever. So we pulled in, and it was a 300 feet free fall, which I think is about 100 meters. The Sky Coaster, and I got buckled up, and I still remember you were watching from on the ground, and there was an aeroplane flying, and you just see this aeroplane flying past Lyla.
No, it's crazy. I mean, I'm standing there. I think I went live on Facebook because obviously you have people there everywhere watching, and it was just like, am I watching this? Is that really Lyla? And the next thing I know, you are they like
that is my happy place. That is my happy place. I am an adrenaline junkie, so I think that Saturday is maybe that's the adrenaline junkie in me speaking, but I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, but I mean, then they ratchet you up there. The next thing I know, I mean, you're probably just up there whistling and chilling. The next thing I know, they release you.
Yeah. And
here you come sailing through the air with the greatest of ease. It's like that flies through the air with the greatest of ease. There's Lyla Illing, ladies and gentlemen. And then she comes off and she says to me, and Yvette, she says, I think I want to do it again.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So I mean, every time and then when you left, of course, every time I drove down that road, which is US 192 that goes along by Disney World, every time I saw that thing, I thought of you, and I thought, that is insane. So 25 minutes after the hour here, I want to ask you something. I'm sure you probably have a day to start, because you're just starting your day, right? What is
I am getting into
25
bed.
minutes
When
after
this
6?
conversation is over, I'm going to sleep. I still have to go and find shoes, actually. I am free until the gig, and I bought shoes, but we're girls, I don't like them, so I have to go find shoes.
Like the shoes, yeah.
And I just want to mention that my dress is from Uganda, by Luwazi Fashion House, a very, very talented designer. Look her up in Uganda, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you see my dress this Saturday.
Yeah, well, I've already seen it. You sent us pictures privately in WhatsApp, but I'm sure you're going to post it on Facebook.
Yes, I cannot wait to share it.
Until the event. And then, so watch for that. But everybody, once again, you can see Lyla sing the national anthem before the SA versus Wales rugby match. It's a test match this Saturday night, 2 June. It's 11 p.m. our time.
It's
5 p.m. Washington, D.C. / New York time, Eastern time zone there in the States. But it's worth staying up for, or set your PVRs or whatever. But you're going to want to at least stay up until 11:30 and watch her sing the anthem live. After that, you can go to sleep. Stay up until then. It's on Supersport, right?
Supersport 1.
Supersport 1. So tune in. Also, let's see. There was something else I wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, Jen Sue. You were hanging out with Jen Sue. Tell me about Jen Sue.
It is such a funny story. So when we were talking about my radio experience, when I was still a student, a radio production student at NAMISA, this was I think in 2012. I had a week internship at 5FM for Gareth Cliff. And it just so happened that Jen Sue came in and did her morning minute, entertainment minute that she had on his show. And her and I started chatting, and she said to me, what do you want to do one day? And I said, well, I want to be an e-entertainment reporter. All right, this is like 19-year-old Lyla speaking. And so she goes, oh, cool, well, I've been one, so tell me more. So she just, sort of like, it just happened naturally that she always sort of, kept me like under a ring. We've always kept like in touch, when we're in the same spot, and now it's like 4 or 5 years later, and we just happen to be in New York at the same time. And she reached out, and we hung out, and it was just amazing to sit down with her again and look back, you know, from when I was 19 and to now, where we're actually pretty good friends, and she's been a really, really amazing mentor.
Wow, that's amazing. So then we obviously saw that you posted. Oh, and lastly, I want to just mention quickly, because we do have to go now, but two things. One is People Magazine SA did a nice little write-up on you and singing the anthem this Saturday, which you even managed to mention Eden Radio. So thank you for that, by the way.
Of course.
To say thank you. My boss, Rourke, he wanted to thank you specifically for that. And then also, the other thing I was going to mention, I actually just forgot. So
You were gonna lie again.
Nah, I was gonna lie. So anyway, that's also posted online. You can check that out. And then this Saturday, 2 June at 11 p.m. South African time on
Supersport 1.
That's it. You can see Lyla sing the South African national anthem in Washington, D.C. at RFK Stadium in front of thousands and thousands of people. Check that out. Thank you, Lyla, for chatting to us, and I'll look forward to the next episode of the New York Minute when that gets rolling again.
Maybe I'll interview one of the hot Springboks and drag them into a corner over there.
There you go. Get it done, man.
Wishful thinking.
I'll be very excited to see what you get done while you're there. Maybe you can speak to a couple people and rather book some interview time or something, or maybe even do a little pre-record and later on. But hey, thanks for chatting to us, and from New York City, ladies and gentlemen, at 11:30 here on Eden Radio. It's Miller time, and that is Lyla Illing.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Lyla.
Thanks so much
Bye.
for supporting my journey. Cheers. Bye.